Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. I'm your host, Don Wiley, and this is Gold Wingnut Live. We'll talk about the things you want to talk about, answer your questions. As you saw, there was no opening advertisement like there normally is because there is no sponsor this week, no episode sponsor. And the reason for that is what you see up in the upper right-hand corner. The big thing on my agenda for the next week is next week's show. It's going to be a 2-hour long show if you're online. If you want to see it live, I'm going to be at the Everglades Recreation Center from 2 until about 5:30. The show itself will air from 3 to 5. Why are we doing it live? Well, it's a fundraiser for the firefighters for their Thanksgiving Day dinner. I've been doing this now for, I think this is the 9th or 10th year. I've lost track. We started out initially providing Thanksgiving dinner for Fire Station 45, and it was just my neighborhood in Ventura Villas, and we started it out. During COVID, we decided to expand it to all the fire stations. So now, every year, I have a series of station coordinators. We provide Thanksgiving dinner for all the firefighters. So to do that takes a lot of cooperation from the community. We have, again, station coordinators that will work with you in your local area to help with the gathering of food. But it takes cash too, because we buy sodas and plasticware for the leftovers and things like that. And we try and buy the turkeys, so nobody has to buy the big turkey. But that's what the fundraiser's for, to raise some money for this. This year also, I'm raising money for the Sumter County firefighters. Commissioner Jeff Bogue on the Board of County Commissioners for the last couple of years, he's been buying Thanksgiving dinner for the 8 fire stations in Sumter County. And obviously it's a big coin to toss, so we're trying to raise some money for him also. You can donate to either one of them or both. I don't care. Your participation is greatly appreciated. So let's talk about the next Sunday. Again, it's going to be 3 hours long live or at the rec center, 2 hours online. What are we going to talk about for 2 hours? Well, I have 3 guests that are going to be there. The first one is Mr. Kenny Blocker, who is the district manager for the villages. Next is somebody you probably haven't heard about, is Cassandra Smith. She is the chief financial officer and assistant city manager for the city of Wildwood. So she has a pretty important job as chief financial officer. And lastly is Mr. Bradley Arnold, the county administrator. So what do all 3 of these people have in common? Between the 3 of them, they are responsible for 90 to 95% of the government funds that are collected via taxes and expended for local services. And why do this now? We are right in the middle of budget season here in Sumter County. The CDDs are doing their budgets. The city of Wildwood is doing their budget. The amenities division's doing their budget. And of course, Sumter County, we're doing their budgets. I've been working on budgets for too many years, and this year's is, I'll show you the budget here in just a minute. I got it down here below me. But this is going to be an open town hall. You're invited to come, ask questions, and we're going to talk about taxes, whatever you want to talk about, taxes, amenity fees, what you call maintenance assessments, local taxes, whatever you want to ask. These 3 people are going to be there to answer your questions. I am not going to answer too many questions about the Sumter County taxes and budget. Oh, I forgot to start what was in the background. Oh my gosh, how silly of me. But I'm not going to be answering too many of those questions because many of those items may be something that I have to vote on as a county commissioner. Mr. Arnold can address the questions, but I am not going to, just because of Florida sunshine laws. It will be a published meeting. There's a notice coming out in the paper about this town hall meeting. Again, I have sponsors, Kitchen-Wise, Closet-Wise, and Country Village Power Equipment are going to be the two show sponsors for that day. But I'm going to have not only them, but most of my sponsors are going to be there with tables set up. And they're going to provide food and drinks for everybody that comes. They're also going to be there to answer your questions, to talk about their products. They all do a great job. The one that's not going to be there is far and away. They can't make it. They're going to be out of town. But they are still a sponsor. So please come join us. It'll be a good time. It's not going to be like show number 33 where I had some equipment errors. That's where this one came from. I was tweaking something that I shouldn't have been the day before and caused all kinds of screw-ups. I've since learned my lesson. I don't mess with things. But anyway, so that's what's going on next week. Please come and join us. It's going to be at the Everglades Recreation Center from 2 till 5:30. Everybody's welcome. We'll have seating for about 100 people. You can ask your questions live right there on the show. We've got a microphone that we're going to set up and an extra camera so we can get you broadcasted on the show. We're going to have, you can send your questions to live@goldwingnut.com in advance. Send them to me in advance as much as you can. That way I can get some of the information over to our guests so that they can be prepared to answer your questions. Not that they won't be, because I know Mr. Blocker personally, and I've been working with Mr. Arnold for 3 years now. These folks know these budgets inside and out. They know where the money's going. So it should be should be an interesting show. All right. Let's see what our questions were. Somebody asked, how was the key lime pie? So if you saw my Facebook posts on Monday, I went to Hooters for lunch. I went with Kevin Jacobs, Kevin, I apologize. It's not Jacobs, it's Jacques, I guess it is. We met there just out of happenstance, and we had lunch. And it was everything I remember it to be. And the key lime pie was awesome. I absolutely love their key lime pie. It's got a nice, rich, limey flavor. And I always take the sprig of lime and squeeze it out over the top of the pie. And it just makes the flavor really pop. Let's see. What else do we got here? We'll talk more about Hooters shortly. Chris says, Wimbledon just ended, now it's time for Don's show. He said, grab a glass of wine, I think. I will. Hey, that's a good one. And of course, Roxy says, well, we finished brunch of peaches and egg sandwiches, so we'll wait till later Pacific time to have the wine. Wine is grape juice. It's fruit juice. You always have fruit juice with your breakfast, right? I don't know that it's raining yet. I haven't looked out the window in a couple of hours, so I've been getting ready for the show. What else do we have here? Went to Gios the other night. Best pizza yet. Gios. I have no idea where that is. Sorry, Kevin. Dreamcatcher. Great news. They have opened up the road into part of Eastport by the sales center and entertainment stage. Many carts are now driving through. Retail dining areas are still blocked off, though. Interesting. I wouldn't think because they had a fence up the other day when I went through there. Let's see. So I'll go look probably tomorrow. I got a bunch of things I got to do. I'm going to be out and about. Angel Eyes says, hey, hi, Don. Can you provide a map of Edenfield that displays the different home sections, such as designer villas like the one you showed for Oak Hollow? Yeah, I can put it together. It's not a problem. Eric wants to know, Eric McFarland, he is the owner of Fur and Away Mobile Grooming. He was over this past Friday. Sully and Lily got their grooming, and they look great. And of course, they seem to enjoy Eric's company. All right. Whew. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, Tasty Treat, yeah, or Twisty Treat, I think is what it's called. I drove by there yesterday looking at it specifically. I was on my way to breakfast after playing very poor round of golf. But they still have not started work on it yet. So I don't know what the holdup is, but these things generally take time. Theo says, question, is aluminum/metal collected out of the village's waste before it goes to the waste energy incinerator? Is it gathered from the slag? While convenient, it is more energy intense than segregating. I don't know. It's going to all the trash goes to an incinerator over in Lake County that it's used to generate electricity. Yeah. I don't know if they separate it or not. I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting question. You know what? That would be one you might want to ask Mr. Blocker next week. He would probably know that answer. Chris says, sorry I missed, what is the admission fee for next Sunday at Everglades? Think it is a fundraiser. It is free. Come on down and join us. It's free. The Gold Wingnut Foundation is paying for the room. Gold Wingnut Foundation is a 501c3 that I run. They're paying for the room, and what we collect will go to offset the room, as well as much of the advertising will go to offsetting the room. Let's see. Oh, Don, good question. You got it. It's right here on my list, amenity fees. Let's see, with AAC approving a deferral cap, how likely is it the other two entities approving? Do all three have to approve? According to the interlocal agreement, everybody must be treated equally. So therefore, yes, all of, what the heck was that? Oh, Alexa. Everybody has to approve it. The cap or the deferral rate. Do I think it's going to get approved? No, I don't. Why? Because the members of Village Center Community Development District, the members of Sumter Landing Community Development District, they're business people. They understand what the cash flow concerns are. We can't do that. We cannot risk putting our amenities in disrepair due to lack of funds. This whole thing by the AAC it's such a bunch of BS. They know very well they're not going to get away with it. They're just trying to make waves. I have no doubts that this will not go through. I don't think I don't think PWAC will approve it. They understand what the cash flow issues. It's funny, when we took the deferral rate off back in, I want to say it was 16 or 17. We all agreed it wasn't sustainable, and now all of a sudden it has to be. It doesn't make any sense. All right. Do you know? Excuse me just a second. Got to unplug Alexa because she talks too much. Let's see. Do you know the name of the hotel that will be opening in Eastport? As far as I know, it's the Eastport Hotel. They mentioned the name for the Middleton Hotel on a recent video that was announced, and it has something to do with citrus. That's all I remember. I didn't remember. It begins with an H, I think. But I don't know that there's going to be anything other than Eastport Hotel. for the name for the one in Eastport. All right. Kevin says, Jess is 301 near 466 in Oxford. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. The show next week is at Everglades. Previously, I had thought Saluki. That's what I was originally trying for, but the room was not available. There was a church service just prior to it, and they said there's not enough time to get set up, so we'll be doing it over at Everglades. Now, right now, it's tentatively scheduled for the Yellowstone and Yosemite room, but I've got to work with them tomorrow because that room may not be big enough with all the tables we got to set up. Let's see. Dreamcatcher says, is your shirt design an ode to the Hamlin Hotel? That Hamlin, that's the name of it. See, I knew it was an H. They're building in Middleton. They said it's going to be designed after the Hamlin Orange, hence the Hamlin Hotel. I don't know. It's a shirt I've had. My wife got it for me. I like it. It's very comfortable. Don, watching from the golf cart as my husband drives. Okay, Victoria. That's cool. Look, just you watch. Don't let him try and watch. If you do, make him pull over. Hello from Tallahassee. New to this channel. All right. Well, Gary, welcome. This is Gold Wingnut Live, where we talk about Sumter County and the villages. Glad to have you. Hey, you have a little overmodulation on the mic. Okay, that's easy to fix. I'll just reach over here to the soundboard. Yeah, I bought a new soundboard, and because this one that I have is a little bit weak on some of the microphones, so I bought a professional one. It's made by Behringer. I don't remember. Behringer's a wine. Sorry, but yeah, it's an 18-channel one. It's really good, but I'm smart enough to know I'm not going to touch it and use it for next week's show because, once again, we go back to this. And yes, I will probably screw something up, and I'm not going to do that again. All right. Let's see. Hamlin Hotel. Yep. Okay. Oh, boy. Look at this. Oh, my gosh. I'm behind on my comments here. Let's see. Easy for the AAC to vote for a deferral when they know other entities won't approve. Smart political move to take the heat off their representation. Yep, I would agree. So we have okay, so Ed says we have a home south. I'm always concerned about our money not spending well. Okay, we have a home south. I'm always concerned our money not spent well. That there's lots of buddy deals on how those fees are spent. Ed, having worked those budgets for 7 years as a district supervisor, I can tell you that Mr. Blocker and his staff are, I'll say a nice word, frugal. They pinch every penny that they can, and they do a good job. People say, wow, we got all these new houses, they don't need any more money. With new houses come new amenities. New amenities means new costs. It's the same thing with your property tax. We have people moving in to Sumter County, a lot of them every year. And yes, it creates more property taxes, but we also have to hire more people. We're looking at 10 new sheriffs for the sheriff's department. We got 17 new people coming on projected for next year in the county staff. It takes a lot of people, a lot of services being run, especially when you start adding 3, 4, 5,000 people. So as far as buddy deals, everything has to be done per the law. There's no buddy deals. The developer doesn't get any special favoritism. When the district staff puts something out for bid, the developer can bid it or not. But everything is evaluated on a point system, and there's no buddy deal. Same thing at the county level. We've got a staff that reviews every contract quote, and it's not always about price. It's also about it's about getting the right product or the right solution with somebody with experience. Somebody without the experience may come in lower, but they don't get the points for experience and staffing, then they may not be good. May not be a good fit, even though they might be the lowest price. It may not be the most prudent price. Patrick wants to know how many guest rooms are going to be at the Middleton Hotel. I remember hearing like 120 or 200, and I don't remember. It's a decent sized hotel. Oh. So Tammy wants to know, hi Don, Doug for DD Photography mentioned in his video that Publix grocery store going in Eastport. You mentioned it wasn't Publix. Any updates? I don't know who's going in at Eastport yet. It's not Publix. But since we're on that subject, let me bounce over to some drawings, something that I found this week. Yeah, we'll start with this one here. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Victoria. Appreciate the donation. All right, so this is Central Parkway. I apologize if it's hard to see, but this is, I think they're calling it Central Park. This was just announced this past week. It's on Bar Boulevard in the Middleton section of the community. So this is going to be south of the high school and farther down Bar Boulevard. This section of Bar Boulevard isn't even built yet, but it's going to have a playground. It's going to have a free-form style pool, but it's also going to have lap lanes in it. It's going to have a multi-purpose field, 9 pickleball courts. I thought that was pretty cool, that many pickleball courts, a basketball court. What else was there? Obviously a pool, a pavilion, a playground, cornhole. So yeah, so that's that. But let's go to the one I was talking about. All right, why didn't it move? I wasn't selected. All right, so this just hit the streets. This is Building 15 over in Middleton, and you can see that it's going in this area. What would this be? North of the hotel, right down here where the whoops, got to put her on the right screen. Right here is the Eastport Hotel. No, excuse me, the Middleton Hotel, Hamlin Hotel, that's right, Hamlin Hotel that's being built. Big parking lot, and then there's this big building. Let's take a closer look at it, though. So, if you can see this, one of the first things we notice is the parking lot, okay? It's slanted. The only place I've ever seen slanted parking here in the Villages area is at a grocery store. This is going to be a grocery store. There are other things that tell me that. Right here, in these spots right here, is a shopping cart return area. Now, looking at that, who has a shopping cart return area? Walmart? No, theirs are not permanent. Theirs are normally the metal racks. Aldi? Nope. We know Winn-Dixie's out because they're pretty much almost out of business. So don't know who else that could be. Some other things that are going on here. There's a couple of mentions here about a pharmacy sign. And that's what this is up here. This is the pharmacy drive-through. So this grocery store is going to have a pharmacy. And then the one that got me is right down here. There's a little tiny second part of the building. It looks to be separate from the rest of the building. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be a liquor store, just looking at the size of it. So there you have it. Of course, there's handicap parking, and it's got an overhang. So, but this is a grocery store. I'll let you guess who it is. But now I'll say who I think it is. I know what I said back towards the beginning of the year. I said Publix was going in at Eastport. I was wrong. It's not. But the parking is what really keyed it for me. The parking, the possible liquor store, and the pharmacy. That tells me that this is probably going to be a Publix in Middleton. We'll see if I'm right. I'm pretty sure on this point. My source before, he may have misled me on which location it was that he was talking about. So, but pretty good on this one. Other things that we see here, this is 2 bays for the loading dock. Here's 1 bay for the compactor. Lots of good stuff coming there. All right. So there you have it. Let's switch back. All right. Arthur said he'll be at the show next week. Great. How do you find out how many homes have sold so far in Middleton and how many people live in Middleton now? Wow. Unless it's in the Villages puts out a quarterly newsletter that shows how many homes they sold for the age-restricted portion of the community. But as far as why is my camera's not getting me right here? It's supposed to lock in on my face. You know why? I'm not using. There we go. Now we got the right camera. That was the little camera that's down here on my desktop. Where was I going? Oh yeah. So they tell you how many homes they've sold, how many resales they've sold in the age restricted, but I've never seen anything published on Middleton. But driving through there, they are selling robustly. It's not 10 houses a day like they are here in the Villages. It's probably 1 house a day, maybe 3 or 4 a week, but it's still a pretty good sales rate. Let's see. Matthew wants to know, how can you speak to the comment that only golf carts bought from the Villages are guaranteed to fit in all tunnels? That's a new one. I've not heard that particular comment before. I will say that the golf cart tunnels in the southern part, basically those areas south of 44, generally tend to be a little bit higher than the ones north of 44. And if you go north of 466, right by the polo grounds, there's one golf cart tunnel there that's really low. I've seen some park cars that were set for street legal. They sit a little bit higher, scraping their roofs in there, and there's a lot of roof scrapes in it. But, I'm pretty sure I know where this is coming from. Oh my God. Mandy and Andy, the couple that bought my old house, I played golf with Andy this Saturday morning. He joined the neighborhood group. He's got a beautiful lithium 4-forward golf cart. I don't remember the brand, but it definitely sits higher than the Yamahas do. So yeah, he could definitely have some problems if he goes farther north. But and looking around, I've seen that on a lot of these new lithium ones, especially for whatever reason, they're a little bit taller. So that could be a problem. Let's see. All right. Dreamcatcher says 250 hotel rooms. Wouldn't surprise me. It's a good-sized building. Sure would be nice if we had a Walgreens down in the Eastport area. Our insurance doesn't cover prescriptions for CVS. Yeah, it would be. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. It's actually something I'm working on 158. By the way, what you're watching in the background is the first cut on 158. I still got a lot of work to do on it, but I do this is the flyover right now of the Middleton area, and I'm also doing a walk around with my GoPro camera, and it's going to be narrated and showing you what's going in where. I don't remember if there's supposed to be a drugstore or not going in there, in that area. I got to go look at my notes. Let's see. Gary says looks to be a Publix. Yep. Puto Ludo says I'd be happy for some choice other than Publix, maybe a Kroger or something. I don't care for Aldi's. Too hit and miss. The product supply is not reliable. Yeah, Aldi is a different kind of animal. I agree. But you can't beat their prices. And the store brands are actually pretty good. The Publix's biggest competition for the longest time was Winn-Dixie. And they've gone through some financial trouble. Most of them have shut down. We still got the one over in Pinellas Plaza, which is basically over there by the county office, the Gold Dome building, if you would, near the new Home Depot and the new Target that's being built. But there's not a whole lot of other choices. Kroger, man, it would be good to see some competition. I totally agree. Let's see. Jerry, my barber's sister's mailman's cousin says it's Trader Joe's. Damn, you heard that rumor too. Far too big for Trader Joe's. They are small. Let's see. Villages Golf Carts just released a video regarding golf cart tunnels on YouTube. You know what? That's a sales tactic. Again, yes, if you're going to, it may be a problem if the farther north you go. But if you're buying a new golf cart and you're living in the southern section and you don't plan to go up to the north end, it's not going to be a big deal if you got one of these bigger ones. But there you go. All right. Let's see. John says, great news about the in Middleton. Is there any news about development along Marsh Bend at Station 48? No, I have not seen any more news on that one, John. That's, again, so where I'm getting these sources from is from the Water Management District. And before you break ground anywhere in the state of Florida, you got to go through a Water Management District. So they are the ones that get the information first, and it's always about drainage. You got to get your drainage approved before you can get your permits approved. Because if you get your permits approved and it doesn't meet the drainage requirements, your permits are pretty much worthless, and your design is pretty much worthless. So they got to get the water stuff done first. Once I hear something, I'll let everybody know. Tom, we are excited to have you documenting our home. Thank you very much. Jerry, I heard that too. Okay. Becky, welcome. All right. Sorry, I'm listening in the shower. Doug, that's too much information. But anyway, I said Publix was approved to build in Eastport, but it will be 2 to 3 years before you see it built. Okay, sorry, Doug, didn't watch your video. Been very busy this week, so I'm not really paying much attention to much of anything other than what I have to do. I'm late. There's another channel that I moderate on Sunday. Okay, welcome back, Becky. Hello, Matt. So yeah, this week I've been busy. Let me show you what I've been going through. Right there, Sumter County proposed budget. This thing will choke a horse. And this is just the county's portion of it, not the, what do they call them? Constitutional officers. That's the sheriff, the tax appraiser, property appraiser. That's this budget here. This is another one I get to go through. I haven't even started on this one yet. That's tonight after Samba. I'm just need something to put me to sleep after Samba. Yeah, there is a lot. If you want to look at this budget, it's posted now for the workshop that's happening on Tuesday and Wednesday at the Gold Dome building, or the Village's Sumter County Service Center is the proper name for it. That's at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have on Tuesday and Wednesday, we have 2 budget workshops to go over the new budgets and to make some decisions. So I'm looking for a very sharp needle to stick in my eye so I don't have to read anymore. But no, it's just part of the job, and it's a part that I take very, very seriously. I'm looking for anything that really indicates, hey, we can probably cut this, because I mean, we got to be responsible. There's with budgets, it's at the national level we got the whole Doge efforts. At the state level we got the Doge efforts. There's efforts to try and get rid of property taxes. That in itself opens up another can of worms. Just going beyond what the impact that it's going to have on a local level, the money's got to come from someplace, which means that instead of the money coming and staying local in Sumter County, then Tallahassee's got to find a way to raise the money, and which means that you're not going to be paying less, you're just going to be paying a different tax. And then you have to rely on Tallahassee to make sure that our needs get funded. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see where that goes. Roxy says that could be a lethal weapon. Yeah, don't drop it on your foot. You'll break something. I'm just glad the governor signed the state budget. Yeah. That was a bunch of serious politicking going on in Tallahassee between the state legislature, the Senate, and the governor's office. And there's the case right there. It was an 11th hour budget signing. Okay, that's just what we need at the county level to let it go so long without approval. It's definitely not something I'm looking forward to. All right. Let's see. Mark wants to know, are new Edenfield lots coming out on Tuesday? I don't know. Again, I've been out of touch really this week. If somebody's working with a village real estate agent, many of them would know that already. And if you've heard anything, hey, chime in. Let's tell us what you know, what you're seeing. Where's going to be the next area though? that one I can probably show you. Let's go to the web browser. And we got to go to the web browser. All right, we'll go there. So that's Eastport. And so this area here already went up for sale. So this is new this week. So it could be this area, but this area here has been up for a while. This is the postal station and recreation area. So I believe this will be the next one to come out. They just released a bunch of veranda homes down here under Crocton Place. It's funny, my friend Jim, he has the same house that I bought. That's a different story. But anyway, he has one on the golf course, and I bought one on water. I paid roughly $550. It's the same exact floor plan right along this here, and for Hillsdale, and it's $601 for a power line view. Just saying. Ouch. I think I got a better deal. All right. Let's see. So yeah, if I hear something, Mark, I'll give you a call. Sharon says, hi, Don, nice shirt. Do you know if there is an online resident directory instead of the big hard copy we get? Not that I'm aware of. A phone directory these days really has become, I want to say obsolete, because everybody's using cell phones. I mean, we haven't had a landline in the house, and well, we've been here 11 years, so probably 8 or 9 years. We got rid of the landline because it just didn't make any sense. We always had our cell phone with us, and we had like 3 phone calls last year, and I think 2 of them were telemarketers. Let's see. Dreamcatcher says, living in the new section under construction, the main roads have some issues. Manhole covers high, dips in the road where pipes were laid. Can anything be done to make it right? The county, city / developer. So this is right now, if it's in a new section, I believe it's a 2-year warranty, and that would be something that you could point out to the county, and the county will go back to the developer and have things like that fixed. Not sure what area you're talking about, because I go all through the new areas all the time, and unless it's still under construction, the roads look pretty good. Let's see. Oh, Hugo says, Harry and the Natives opening soon. Yeah, next month they're opening. They're closing the Lake Oklahoma Boardwalk Wednesday for maintenance. I'm assuming to prepare for the restaurant opening. And that is probably correct. There is 2 or 3 connections between that boardwalk and Harry and the Natives. Most of that is done, but they're working on it. That was in some of the footage that you're watching now. Where are we at here? We're at about 44 minutes into. Oh no, we're at 39 minutes into this video. Out of the 44 minutes, I still have some trimming to do. It's not going to be that long. It's going to be right at 30 minutes. Harry and the Natives is coming soon, man. They got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do yet. Adventures of Steve and Lori on vacation. Hooters chicken wings are good, but small, and don't charge extra for blue cheese. Come on, man. I did go to Hooters. I said that earlier. The wings were not as big as they had been, but they were comparably priced to their competitor. I have those prices. I'll show them in just a few minutes. Let me get caught up here, because some of the comments I got were really good. Don't charge me for blue cheese. Come on, really. Used to be you get celery and blue cheese, and maybe it was $1 extra. I don't know. I used to, when I lived in Memphis, I went to Hooters about once a week with some friends of mine. We worked at the company. There's a lot of things people don't understand and know about Hooters, but yeah. Let's see. Matt Allen says, "Hi Don, who pays the nightly entertainment at the town squares?" That is paid by the merchants. They pay that. It does not come out of your amenity fee. It does not come out of the county tax rolls. We used to have a tourism tax. In 2020, that tourism tax was abolished. We were considering bringing it back, but the state passed some legislature that basically says, yep, you can pass a tourism tax, and that's not a problem. But you have to offset it in your general fund, your millage rate assessment. What's the point then? For raising extra money. So yeah. Trying to think. Yeah, I mean, it is just the merchants and the restaurants that are there in the square. And you know what? Let's talk about that for just a second. If you go into a store at 8 o'clock at night, most stores are pretty much dead, okay? I've been over to Home Goods. I've been in Target and some of the other ones late at night or in the evening, and it is a graveyard after dinner. But if you go to the town squares, you walk in there, there's normally 2 or 3 customers in every store looking around and buying things. And really, that's what they're paying for, to get that extra foot traffic, to get people into the stores. And obviously, it's successful. I mean, when you look at the restaurants that have been there, that are there, they're generally successful. What is it? Rustic Rose. Now, that's a neat little place. So, in Brownwood, there are 2 Rustic Roses owned by the same lady who owns both of them. Obviously, business was good enough that she decided she was going to put in a second store in Brownwood. So that part of that myth about, oh, the Villages charges too much, blah, blah, blah. You know what? The Villages charges a comparable rate. That golf cart accessibility is worth 20 or 30% additional business with that they wouldn't get without golf cart accessibility. It is prime retail location, and you don't go into it. You don't sign a contract not knowing what it's going to cost you. If you didn't budget for it, well, it's poor business practice on your part. And my understanding is, talking with some folks that I know over in the commercial property group, they are very particular about who they bring in. They're not going to bring in competition for an existing vendor, so you're not going to get 2 Mexican restaurants in one town square. But they want to make sure that it's going to be a good fit and that it's going to be profitable. And it's because having an empty building like that, when one goes out of business, is expensive because they got to still air condition it. And Lord forbid you get a restaurant that goes out of business. Holy mackerel. You've had food in there. Talk about it's a nightmare because they got to really stay on top of the extermination and pest control, because if you've had food in there, it's going to attract pests. There's no doubt about it. All right. Yeah, I was a little disappointed in the size of the chicken wings, though, at Hooters, too. Looks like they cut the price of the garden villas. Okay, I've not been checking. Cheapest garden villa is $400. Still, you cut another $20 to sell. Floor plan is terrible. You know, Debbie and I, one afternoon, we went over there and took a look because they were new. And some of the floor plans we liked. They were nice. I'll tell you what I really liked about it, though, was the yard. Okay. you can let your dog out the front door and he's not going to get out because the front door is behind the gate. So it's kind of a neat layout, especially if you have pets like, you know, I have my Sully and my Lily. And it's, yeah. So are they cutting the price? I don't know. It does seem that they're not selling as well as they had hoped. Amazingly, there's some verandas. Let me pull them up here. We'll go to the other tab here. Oh, yeah, there's a few. Whoops. Doo-doo-doo. So yeah, these are the garden villas, and there's looks like there's what? Yeah, there's about 3, 6, 9, a dozen still left. A bunch of other homes for sale here, and then these verandas, they are still on the market. There still looks like 8 of them still available. I was surprised because verandas generally go pretty quick. Of course, you know, there is that big cell tower right here and the golf maintenance facility right here. So, but when you look over here, these are courtyard villas. These obviously are selling well. That one doesn't surprise me that it's sold, that Bristol. I don't know what a Bristol is, but they got new names for it. And this is over in Edenfield. The inside lots are still selling. Okay, these go down. It looks like every day or two, a few more disappear. So, yep, they're still going. But yeah, I think this is, you know, with them putting some additional homes on the market. You know, these over here, all these are patio villas. That will delay a little bit the next few sections of homes. Or lots, if you will, while they try and move some of that inventory. Some ones that didn't surprise me that aren't moving well. All right, come on. There's some homes down here. There's a few left still, right here on Central Parkway. Wouldn't be my first choice. All right. Let's go back. Where are we at on time? Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see. Happy Go Lucky says, will the developer be required to disclose the wastewater treatment plant when they sell the lots that are right up against it over the berm of North Central Parkway? Well, that's an interesting question because I thought they'd already sold the ones across from there. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of homes on McMurtry Loop that overlook the wastewater treatment plant and the electrical substation. You know, there's a bunch of homes coming up on in Middleton, just based on. Let me go back to that screen. So the wastewater treatment plant is right here. This is the electrical substation. Here's McMurtry. Okay. These homes pretty much all overlook it, but it's behind greenery and a berm. And then these are, dang Mac, so touchy. More and more of Middleton is showing up plotted. So that's a good thing. They're getting ready to move forward on that. They've been selling pretty briskly over in this new area, I think. All right. Let's go back to your questions. I'm partial to the verandas now. Yeah, the verandas are nice. You know, gives you all the benefits of a designer home. Oh, look. I was talking about Harry and the Natives. This is Harry and the Natives right now. And you can see this is the outside bar. Let me go back to. Hey, yeah, we'll flip it this way, and I'll get small. Wow. Oh wait, that's the wrong video. That's a previous video. Okay, But yeah, here's the boardwalk that they're working on. So yeah, it's good. Let's see. Dreamcatcher says the area is Dry Creek Trail and Byers Street in Middleton. Final pavement is down, but there are many high manhole covers to avoid the deep. Okay. Dry Creek. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, you can call the county. There's a number for the county on the county's website. Sumter County, Florida. SumterCountyFL.gov is the website. There's a phone number there. It's the customer service number. Call, let them know what the problem is, and it will be addressed. Let's see. Entertainment must cost the merchants a small fortune. Yeah, it does cost them, but it brings customers in. It brings lots of customers in. Let's see. Let's talk golf. Any poor conditions this year? Which ones? Well, right now the courses are really they're starting to look really, really good. We played Southern Star yesterday, and the greens were fast and smooth, and they were nice and maintained. We've come out of the really busy dry season. The time when our courses get their most use and abuse is in the winter months, when we have the least amount of water to put on them. And it's the poorest growing season because of the cooler weather. So they take a big beating when the snowbirds are here. I hate using that term. Seasonal residents are here. But right now, the courses are looking really good. All the ones I've played so far in the last couple of weeks really look nice. Let's see. They're also finishing up verandas on the golf course in Wellpoint. Okay. Mark says, I was impressed with the Southern Oaks and Lowlands when we were there. So I've only played Lowlands once, and I've only played Southern Oaks once. Let's see. Why does the developer put golf cart paths on the main roads? Because it makes sense. If you're driving down the residential streets, you're driving on the residential roads. If it's a 4-lane road, then you're on a golf cart path. If it's a 2-lane road, then most likely you're going to be in the golf cart lane on both sides. It makes the most sense. It used to be that there were golf cart paths everywhere, and it puts extra pressure on the golf cart path because you get people on bicycles. Well, no, there are people on bicycles. There are people roller skating, what have you. Not a lot of roller skaters here in the villages. People walking their dogs. So it takes a lot of pressure off those multimodal paths. Anyway, it's just a change in the way they're doing things. It's not bad. I mean, I've been up and down Bar a few times in the golf cart, and it's fine. It's no different than going down the southern part of Megason. When Megason turns to 4 lanes, then there's multimodal paths for the golf carts. But I hate to say it, but it's always been that way. Hillsborough Trail is that way. Pinellas Place, I think it is, the one that parallels Hillsborough Trail just to the north. Odell Circle, St. Charles, all those main roads, they all have the same thing. Let's see. Orange Mini Cooper, okay. I bet you I know what you drive, an orange Mini Cooper. Why don't they build premier communities anymore? It seems like golf cart home lots are not as deep and championship courses are much more narrow than courses up north. I can't speak for the width of the courses up north. Or are you talking about up north in the villages? I don't know. I will say they know their market better than anybody, and they know what sells and how to make it move. If they felt that there was a high demand for premier homes on golf courses, you'd be seeing them. They've made some allowances, so you're not going to you can put premier homes on many of the lots that are on the golf courses in the new section. You're not going to put a Grandview. You're not going to put a St. John's or St. Charles, one of the two. You're not going to put a Kings Bay. These are 3,000 square foot homes. But again, there's not a high demand for those on a golf course, or it doesn't appear to be. But yeah, if there's a demand, then I am sure we'll see them again. Let's see. Dream Kitchens, if they painted the garden villas in a multicolor Key West theme instead of mostly monocolor, I think they would have been more appealing. It would have been different and interesting. Yeah, could be. Well, thank you, Pluto. 187 watching and only 4 bothered to hit the thumbs up. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, please. When there's a lot of positive response, a lot of viewership, YouTube is about generating revenue. So they want the videos to succeed, and the way they know they're succeeding is by the thumbs up and things like that. So please hit the thumbs up. Gotta run. Great work, everyone. It was Middleton lots next to wastewater treatment plant I was referring to. So yeah, I'm sure it's not hidden. They're right there. I've been down Central Parkway hundreds of times. I hate to say it, but yeah, I go down it a lot. So it's not like you can't see what's there. So folks, let's get back to next Sunday's show. Let's talk about that real quick. Again, next Sunday, Everglades Recreation Center will start about 2 o'clock. We'll go live at 3. My advertisers are going to be there. They're going to have tables set up. You can see their product, and they're going to be providing drinks and not appetizers, some snacks, cookies, cupcakes, that kind of thing, for you to enjoy as you're looking around. This is to raise money for our firefighters. There's 3 charities that we're working. 3 different groups that we're going with right now. Sumter County Fire EMS. We're raising money for them. We're raising money for Villages Public Safety and Thanksgiving dinner for them. And Commissioner Bill Ardello, Andy, I apologize, Bill Ardello is working with Turkeys from Heaven. Turkeys from Heaven provides Christmas dinner, a turkey Christmas dinner to the underprivileged families here in Sumter County. And we're raising money for his group also. So he'll be there. As far as the Villages firefighters, some of my coordinators will be there. If you want to provide a pie, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, whatever you want, we're always looking for something new to give the firefighters, because that's one of the beauties of this community. Everybody's from someplace else, and so there are all these different dishes that people make, traditional dishes from Wisconsin or Iowa or New Mexico or whatever. It's always great. The hardest part about this whole thing for me has always been loading all the food in the back end of the car and taking it to the fire station, because you're sitting in all these wonderful smells. And it's like, oh my gosh. the food smells awesome, and the firefighters are so grateful. But please come down, enjoy them. If you can't make it, but you still want to make a contribution, on the screen you will see the GoFundMe link and the QR code. The QR code will take you to the same GoFundMe page. Please make your contributions there. We appreciate all that we can get. Anything that's left over after we pay for the dinners and the turkeys and the different things that we need to buy goes to the Firefighters Relief Fund for each of the fire departments. So when they have one of their own, for example, recently there was a firefighter that passed away. That was very sad. But this gives them a little extra money to be able to help the family out. All right. Let's see. I watch on TV and on my phone. One of the neat things about YouTube is if you're a content provider, you get all kinds of information. So I get to see demographics on age. I get to see where people are at, which country they're from. The one that surprised me, though, is the platform that people watch on. 60% of the people watching my videos are watching on their TV. So I'm assuming it's a big screen TV, which is, because of that one demographic, that's why I started doing my uploads in 4K, to give you a little better quality picture when I do my videos. These are still done in 1080p. There's no sense in it because I'm an ugly mug and you don't want to see me in that much detail. So see there. Arthur says the garden villas are not selling because compared to other homes selling in the villages, you get more home and more lot for the money. Just that simple. There's some basis for that, yes. So yeah. Wow. But again, I am looking forward to next week. Come on down. We can meet. We can talk. We can say hello. Of course, when we go live, we'll take your questions live. Amazon Prime deals are great. I bought a microphone stand because the one I was using, what's the word for it? Oh yeah, junk. So that's going out in the trash on Tuesday. But bought a new microphone stand, so we'll have a couple of cameras set up. I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun getting to meet everybody. So where are we at on time? It's 4:07, and I have ribs to cook on the grill tonight. So I think it's probably time to call it a day. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Again, our guests are going to be, I'm going to be there, Mr. Bradley Arnold, the county administrator, Cassandra Smith, the CFO and assistant city manager for the city of Wildwood, and Mr. Kenny Blocker from the village's district government. So these are folks with a wealth of knowledge that, you've got questions, they can give you answers, and they're going to be right. Unlike what you read online. You know what? Let's jump over to some of I had some questions or some comments that came in about Hooters. We'll take 5 minutes because some of them were pretty good and some of them were comical. Let's see. I gotta find there. There's the question. Oh, that's because, yeah. All right. Let's go here. So, Andrea says, it was awesome. They're totally on the ball. Great atmosphere, great food, great prices. Yep, I agree. Let's see. What was the next comment? Sophie says, overpriced, I think. We'll get to the price in just a minute. As I said, they're comparably priced. $35 for wings, so not worth it. It wasn't just wings. Have you seen the... Tony says, have you seen the price of wings in the supermarket? Yeah, no kidding. And my response was $16 for 10 wings, all drummies. So I get just the first section, the big fat meaty section. I don't like the ones with the 2 bones in it. Compared to most other places these days, extras they cost extra too. $7 for the key lime pie. Worth every dime. If you go into Hooters and you have nothing else, have the key lime pie. It's awesome. The beer is pretty good too because it's cold. Fries and drinks are extra. Another $10 combined. Let's not forget the taxes. Yeah, we got to give the tax man his due. And my final comment was, welcome to the real world prices of 2025. Karma AG, oh yes, love this lady. Kind of pricey for one person. I said, well, it used to be 2025 when I went almost weekly, but that was 7-8 years ago, inflation. And we're not in the 80s or 90s anymore. Hope that includes the tip. You know, some folks have forgotten that prices have gone up, and it is what it is. My wife doesn't like the price of a burger when we go out. It is what it is. I mean, even when you buy them in the store, meat's expensive. Angela says, I wouldn't spend that much money for that meal. Okay, nobody's asking you to. Everybody has their own preferences. So Frank says $34.50 and probably another $7 or so for tip. Over $40 for lunch. Yep, that's about what it was. That was steep when I was a banker in Miami, much less a semi-retired pre-geezer in Sumter County. If that was steep in Miami before you retired, man, I've eaten in Miami. It's expensive. It is really expensive. Everything is expensive in Miami. So obviously we're talking a few years out of date here, Frank. Let's see. Yeah, some comments on that. And of course, we had Tammy says, it's a great spot to watch college football. Yeah, you know, you're going there for the atmosphere. You're going there for a clean restaurant, lots of TVs to watch sports, to be treated nicely by the wait staff. Young ladies do a nice job. Dee says, I'm here, can't wait to taste the food. And then later on she says, awesome. So here's my receipt. 10 original wings, all drummies, $16.68. So there was an upcharge for the all drummies. Blue cheese, $1.09. Yeah, I kind of didn't like that, but oh well. Curly fries, $4.49. Guess what? That's about the same price as at McDonald's. Unsweet tea, yeah, I never got that one. $3.50 for an unsweet tea, but hey, they gotta make money somehow. And a key lime pie, $6.50. All right. Taxman gets his $2.25 out of that too. So yeah, it was a little over $40. But let's look at those wing prices for just a second. $16.68, that's what the upcharge. This is RJ Gators. For 10 wings, they want $16.99. What's the difference? I don't hear anybody complaining about their prices. So there you go. So then some of the comments starting a little bit more colorful. Tim S. Hooters exploits young women. I would disagree, but we're getting to your comments. My friend Louis Scaramucci, this was a friend of mine from when I knew Louis in the 70s when we lived in Caramarcel, Turkey. I lived over there for a few years going to high school. He says, they serve food at Hooters? I never noticed. Jim Roberts says, Don, thanks for taking one for the team and reviewing Hooters. And my response was, it's a difficult job, but somebody has to do it. Joyce says, I've never been to a Hooters. Kevin says, they're hiring. And Joyce's comment, I absolutely love it. I wonder if my 83-year-old body would pass the test. Love your sense of humor, Joyce. You know, one of the things that, if you saw the pictures I posted, there are a lot of ladies that went there. We're getting to that topic, though. Joe kind of let loose here. Oh my, looks like the customers include women. How could that happen with the negative post for women when it was announced? And then Jim says, Seems the Karens decided to stay home. Thank God. And Phil says, it's just the ugly and miserable ones complaining. Nothing to miss out on. Okay. Mary says, must be the view you enjoy because the food was never good, has never been good. Well, okay, I've eaten the wings there. I've eaten a lot of things there, and mainly I've eaten wings there, but I've eaten some of the other things there. The food is reasonably good. You know, it's a nice place to eat. Of course, it took me a while to figure out this one. Catering to all the DOM. I was like, what the heck is a DOM? Dirty old man. That's what it was. Then Bonnie, she had to chime in. She's always a treat. On her Facebook posts, Hooters may have originally targeted 18 to 35 as their market, which makes the Villages ideal for Hooters' new location. The men who are in that age group back when it opened in Clearwater in 1983 are now baby boomers and Gen X's folks living in the Villages. How many of these guys still think they're in the 18 to 35 age group? Probably not a one. Probably not a one, Bonnie. Anyway. And of course, Karma says, and so many old grumpy looking, fat too. Okay. You know what? A lot of us don't look as like we did when we were in our 20s and 30s. And of course Mary says, and act like it. Really? Okay. So this is one that I like. And have great-granddaughters that age, the age of these waitresses. Folks, if you don't know anything about Hooters, which some of these people don't, having gone there enough times, got to speak to many of the young ladies. So let's talk about I went to another restaurant this past week. I went to Rose Plantation with some good friends of ours, Ron and Marianne. And very nice looking place. Paying for the ambiance, I guess. Of course, I'm sitting there looking, wow, this thing must cost a fortune to air condition. That's just the way my head works. When you go to Hooters, you go in there for a clean restaurant, decent food, watch some sports on TV, a cold beer, and a friendly face who's going to treat you nicely. Somehow there's a lot of unhappy men in marriages these days because there's a lot of really unhappy women making their lives that way. I've seen it enough times. I've seen my friends endure some painful marriages. And, the question that is always asked, well, is that how you think a woman should be treated? My question to the ladies is, when was the last time you asked the question, how am I supposed to treat my husband? That's where it gets lost. Men don't seem to lose it, but after you get beat down enough times, you just kind of turn it off and you just hold it inside. It's not worth the punishment. Let's go. Here we go. Here's Tim. My niece worked at Hooters. It distorted her perception of men, and she's been divorced 3 times already. You know what? Where's the common denominator here? Sounds like your niece has got some problems. Distorting her perception of men, it was probably distorted before she went to work there. Okay? So the young ladies that work there, they have tuition reimbursement for going to college. They have management opportunities that are given to them. They push this really hard. They make really good money, okay? Some of the things that most people don't realize is there's always a couple of men there that work there. If you get a little too frisky, you're going to be asked to leave in a heartbeat. I've seen it with some of my coworkers when I lived up in Memphis. They had one too many beers, and they were escorted out of the building. And those young ladies, when they leave for the night, most of them are walked out to their car by one of these men to make sure that they are not harassed and they get there safely. They are treated very well. It is no secret that they attract they want attractive young women there. Why? Because it's part of the ambiance. I'm not trying to demean women by saying that. It is just the environment that they're trying to present. And you know what? Those young ladies, they talk nice to the men, and they talk nice to the women. And, they treat everybody nice. And isn't that really what you want? So then let's go to the next slide. Oh yeah, here it says, Tim says, I will be handing out Bibles to the Hooters girls tomorrow afternoon. Tim, I didn't see you there, buddy. But my comment to this, well, then I guess I'll see you there tomorrow. And of course he says, Gold Wingnut, would you want a daughter, granddaughter, or a niece working there? I absolutely would. I would have no problem with it whatsoever. One, because I know they're getting a good paying job. Two, I know they're going to be taken care of. Some of these folks have this idea that it's a big sex shop. Okay. Come on back to the real world, folks. Again, there you go. Jackie says, you're assuming a great deal and are biased. And of course, his comment was, the Hooters business model is based on lust, one of the deadly sins. Tim, let's take a look at those deadly sins, can we? The first one is pride. Excessive belief in one's own abilities, vanity, or an inflated sense of self-importance. Tim, pay attention. Greed, an excessive desire for material possession or wealth, okay. Lust, an intense or uncontrolled sexual desire. Really? So Hooters is based on uncontrolled sexual desire? Get over it. Envy, resentment and bitterness towards another's possessions, qualities, or luck. Sounds like we got a little envy in you there, Tim. Now this one may be a problem. Gluttony, excessive indulgence and consumption, particularly of food and drink. Yeah, it's good food, cold beer. And you can be a little gluttony. Wrath, intense anger, rage, and hatred. Borderline, maybe. Sloth is laziness, apathy, and a disinclination to work or make an effort. And there you go. So, of course, I loved this one. Somebody posted that picture. I thought that was pretty cool. We all know the big joke is about wife swapping and what are you into? I guess that's what these loofahs mean. I don't know. All right. Nice comment there, Muskie. She says, strong men aren't the problem. Angry, bitter, and self-righteous do-nothings are. You're right. So one last thing to show you. The next picture. Whoops. Where'd it go? Oh, I don't have it. I got a picture last night. What do we got? I always get the wrong camera. All right. Apparently the gas station is now open at Costco. So that's a good thing. Little far to go for gas. Walmart neighborhood market's generally about the same price. That's where I generally tend to get my gas. Unless I got a good discount from 7-Eleven or Circle K. All right, folks. I had to share some of those comments there, Hooters. Those were pretty mild. Some of the ones that were on another website, man, some people got some real issues. Anyway, have a great rest of the week. Where is that? Oh, Gary wants to know, where is that Wawa store? That Wawa store is at the corner of 462 or Powell Road and 466A. And it's still a little ways from opening, but it's getting close. All right? Bottom line, go or don't go. All right. Again, thanks everyone for joining me. We'll see you next week. I'm looking forward to it. I'm out of here.